man, I am just so excited. I've got a couple things for you guys today. The first thing is the Dakota is back from the frame shop and it is fixed, which means we can start doing the fabrication work on it to start getting it ready to run, move, drive, and go to Drag Week, hopefully maybe this year. It's really exciting for me because I've had this vehicle since I was 16 years old, and I've done so many things in it. I've off-roaded it, I've street raced it. When I used to drive it around, it was a little wimpy 4-cylinder, and I've learned so much on this vehicle. I've literally touched just about every bolt on it, so it's something I couldn't let go, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because it's about to be back living in its best glory so far. So that's extremely exciting for me, at least. Secondly, I'm on my way to my buddy's shop who works for my father-in-law, and we're gonna go start kind of prefabbing some plates for the motor that's going to be going into the Dakota. So we're actually going to be pulling that motor out, showing you guys what it is. I know that in the very first episode I kind of explained that we're doing something on the budget side, so you'll see that here in just a little bit and what that's going to be, and we're going to get started on it. So y'all stick around and we'll get moving. It's a 454, right? Out of a truck.
No, it's 6 gen.
What is it? 6 gen.
6 gen block.
And what are those in? Where did that come out of? Like a fleet truck?
I don't know that they ever put the 6 gen block in cars, but it's a 5th gen crate motor.
Oh, okay.
The 5th gen block doesn't have the fuel pump boss.
Oh,
the
you're
6th
right.
gen block does.
This one does. Okay. It's almost ready to run.
Yeah, starter.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to. There's a lot of engines in here, but there's the one for the Dakota, which is a cliche LM7 5.3. And I want to go fast, and I don't want to pay a lot of money to do it. So we're gonna dig it out and take a peek. All right, well, we've got it out. What we're doing is we're looking at what we're gonna do with these plates to adapt them to the factory Dakota motor mounts on the frame. So we're kind of discussing that. Let me give you a little background information on the Dakota, or on this engine. I bought a 1978 El Camino off of Craigslist about 5 years ago. That was a giant heaping pile of El Camino, but they had this 5.3 running in it. It's a lower mileage 5.3. I think it's a 2002 with like 50,000 miles. And I sold the El Camino for like 500 bucks. And then I took the wheels and tires off it and put it on the Bel Air. So I'm net zero into this motor. But we're trying to figure out what we can do to adapt that, and I don't know, we're still discussing. Right? Okay, here's what we're doing. This is 1/4 inch thick steel. We're gonna cut a couple plates out of it, and once we get all that done, we'll drill holes so that it mounts to the LS, and then we're gonna drill more holes so we can mount the factory motor mounts to it. That'll go in place, and it kind of seems confusing at the moment. It's not gonna make sense until we kind of get it all back together. And then like put it in the truck. It'll make a whole lot more sense once we get to that point. We do have to countersink a couple bolts, so which is why we're using the 1/4 inch thick steel, and we're getting it all cleaned off, so when he uses the plasma cutter, we don't have any issues with like stuff kicking back and whatnot. So we're gonna get to cutting here in just a second. Okay guys, let me explain what is going on here. We're using the factory motor mounts for either a V6 or a V8 Dakota to determine the dimensions of the plate that's going to mount to the 5.3 block. The reason we're doing that is because there is a posting on LS1Tech.com by a gentleman named Geezer Garage who has actually already done this swap. And it's actually pretty straightforward. You make the plates that bolt to the block on the 5.3. You set the factory engine mounts inside their cradles on the frame, and then you drop the motor down on top of the motor mounts. From there, you can scribe out where the motor mounts lie, so you know where to drill your holes. So after reviewing that thread and kind of talking between me and Tommy, we wound up making plates that are 4 3/4 inches tall by 7 inches wide. Within the video description is a link to that thread, so check it out if this is something that you're interested in doing and you want a little bit more information.
Add a little bit to make up for what was
The cut. Is that like graphite or something?
I don't know what it's called. It's called Silver Streak.
Pretty neat.
I like them. They're a little bit more permanent than soapstone.
Oh no. There you go. 4 3/4 by 7 with some room for the torch.
Yeah, different thing. totally different. That's gonna be the same one as our top set of photos.
Okay. And if you make them square, we can always like flip them over if needed.
Oh, I'm like, what the f***? It's 5? No, I'm measuring from the wrong end. 3/4 7. So we want
3.5.
yeah, we'll do that.
So what Tommy's doing here is marking the plates for the mounting holes that will line up with the bosses in the block. You can see in this picture here that he's drawn a line 1/4 inch from the top of the plate, and that line is going to act as the center line for the top 2 mounting bolts on the block. For the dimensions of the mounting holes, we were able to get a diagram that we downloaded from DIYAutotune.com. I'll put the link for this diagram in the description. And so we found center on the plates. We found center for the top 2 mounting holes that I just spoke about. and then we marked from there and drilled out the holes to 1/2 inch. And let me show you how that turned out. Alright, well there's the final products for now. They're going to be cleaned up and painted and trimmed up. But we got the plates made so we can get the Dakota up here and then set everything in place and drill holes for the factory Dakota motor mounts. But it's a start.